Welcome to the deep dive. Have you ever really stopped to think about marriage? I mean, where did it actually come from? Beyond, the cultural stuff or the legal side.
Right, like what was the original design?
Exactly. Because let's be honest, most of us kind of stumble into it with societal ideas, maybe some rom-com notions. But what if there's this ancient blueprint, one that actually promises lasting joy and real fruitfulness?
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. This isn't about trends or human ideas.
Okay.
We're really unpacking what the Bible itself says, God's definition, his purposes, and honestly, some surprising keys to a holy, lasting union.
And where's this coming from? What's the source?
Yeah, good question. So this deep dive comes straight from a detailed analysis of both Old and New Testament texts.
Okay, great. So our mission here, for you listening, is to really explore that original blueprint, get a handle on its purposes, and maybe find some wisdom that could, transform things.
You might be surprised how practical this ancient wisdom is, even today.
So where do we start with a blueprint like this? Has to be the beginning, right? Old Testament.
Absolutely. Genesis. Right back to creation. Genesis 1 tells us God created humanity in his image, male and female.
And that's important, right? Both in his image.
Crucial. It establishes equal dignity, equal worth from the very start, both reflecting him. Then Genesis 2 talks about complementary creation, designed to complete each other.
And then comes that line, Genesis 2.18. It is not good for the man to be alone. That always strikes me.
It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. In all of creation, everything else is good, good, very good.
Right.
And then this one thing. God says, nope, not good. Solitude.
It really underscores our built-in need for connection, for relationship. It's fundamental to how we're made.
So God's solution.
I will make a helper suitable for him. Now that word helper, ezer, in Hebrew, it's not about being secondary.
Right, I've heard that. It's stronger.
Much stronger. It often means like a rescuer, someone who provides essential strength and support. She was made as his perfect counterpart, even made from his side, his rib, signifying the same essence, equal dignity.
And Adam gets it immediately. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Just pure recognition, joy.
Exactly. And right there, we get the blessing and purpose. Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. It's woven in from the start.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Then Genesis 2.2425. This seems like the core definition, the four elements.
Yes, these are absolutely foundational, still relevant. First, leaving. A man leaves his father and mother.
Which is more than just moving out, right? Especially back then.
Oh, definitely. Family loyalty was everything. So this was radical. It means you establish a new primary relationship. Your deepest loyalty shifts to your spouse. A new family unit begins.
Okay. Then cleaving, being united.
This speaks to permanence, an unbreakable bond, wholehearted devotion, faithfulness. It's that exclusive commitment, that deep attachment, sticking together no matter what.
Gotcha. Third is one flesh. This one gets talked about a lot.
It does, and often limited to just the physical side,
Yeah.
which it includes, obviously. But it's so much broader.
How so?
It's spiritual unity, emotional oneness, a real merging of lives, dreams, destinies, like two streams becoming one river. They don't flow separately anymore.
Wow, that's a powerful image. A complete merging.
Exactly, an inseparable bond.
And the last one, nakedness without shame.
This one is. It's beautiful. It's about complete transparency, vulnerability, total acceptance, no fear of rejection, no guilt, being fully known, flaws and all, and still loved.
That kind of trust. It's profound.
It really is. And the Old Testament doesn't just give us principles. It shows us these things in action. Real couples.
Like Isaac and Rebekah.
Genesis 24. Their story really highlights God's guidance in bringing them together. And what's fascinating, it says Isaac loved her after the commitment, after she arrived.
Yep.
And the marriage brought him comfort, healing.
So love followed commitment in their case.
Yeah.
Different from how we often think.
It can be, yeah. Then you have Jacob and Rachel. Genesis 29. Talk about passionate, enduring love.
The 7 years that felt like a few days.
Right. Because he loved her so much. It shows that deep love is worth waiting for, worth enduring obstacles for, even deception in his case.
True. And Boaz and Ruth. That feels different again.
It is. It's a beautiful picture of redemptive love. Boaz, the kinsman redeemer, he takes responsibility for Ruth, protects her. His character, his generosity, it restores her.
And their marriage wasn't just private.
Not at all. It was a testimony to the whole community, showing God's faithfulness working through people of character.
So beyond the stories, what about the wisdom books? Proverbs?
Oh, Proverbs is full of practical wisdom on marriage. Proverbs 18.22 flat out says, "He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord." Marriage is a blessing, a gift.
And the Proverbs 31 woman.
Right. The virtuous wife, a rare treasure worth more than rubies, someone trusted who brings good. And Proverbs 5, it gets quite specific about marital joy, intimacy.
Yeah. What does it say?
Verses 18 to 19, encourage rejoicing in the wife of your youth, being intoxicated with her love. It's a clear call for passion, satisfaction, and exclusive devotion within the marriage.
Okay, so lots of positive affirmation. But then Malachi, that feels like a shift in tone.
It does. Malachi 2 is very serious. It calls marriage a sacred covenant, and crucially, God is the divine witness to that covenant.
A covenant, not just a contract.
Precisely, and it stresses the duty of faithfulness. Then there's that stark line, the man who hates and divorces his wife does violence to the one he should protect. It's incredibly strong language.
Wow. Violence. And Malachi also mentions a purpose there.
Yes, godly offspring. The covenant is meant to produce children raised in faith. It really frames marriage as this deeply serious, sacred commitment before God.
Which leads us perfectly to the New Testament. What did Jesus himself have to say about all this? Did he change anything?
That's the key question. And Jesus, when asked directly in Matthew 19, he actually doubles down on the original design.
He goes back to Genesis.
Straight back. Quotes Genesis 1 and 2. Affirms God's plan from the beginning. And then, he says it plainly, what God has joined together, let no one separate.
So he upholds the permanence. What about divorce then? Because he does address it.
He does, but notice how. He calls it a concession. Something allowed only because of hard hearts, because of human brokenness. It wasn't God's ideal, not the original plan.
And he gives that one exception, sexual immorality.
Right. But by limiting it so strictly, he's actually restoring the high standard. He's pulling it back towards lifelong permanence. Divorce is clearly positioned as falling short of God's best.
I mean, Jesus didn't just teach about it. He showed up at a wedding, right? Cana?
His first public miracle, John 2, turning water into wine, his presence, his miracle. It's a divine thumbs up, a celebration of marriage. Shows its importance, its joy.
Okay. Then we get to Paul. Ephesians 5 is huge, isn't it?
Absolutely central. And he starts somewhere really important, often skipped over, verse 21. Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ.
Mutual submission. That's the foundation.
It's the bedrock for everything else, he says. Mutual respect. A Christ-centered approach for both husband and wife, before he gets into specific roles.
Okay, because the specific roles, especially the wife's role in verses 22-24, that language of submission, it can be challenging for people.
It definitely can be misunderstood. Paul speaks of a wife's loving submission to her own husband.
So what does that actually mean? Is it about being less than?
Not at all. Biblical submission here is a voluntary response, respect, support, modeled on the church and Christ. It's absolutely not inferiority, it's not blind obedience, and it certainly never means tolerating abuse.
Okay, so it's a chosen posture of respect and support for his leadership role within their specific relationship.
Exactly. A willing heart recognizing God's design.
And then the husband's role. Ephesians 5:25-30, sacrificial love.
Yes. And this isn't about being the boss. It's the opposite. It's servant leadership. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her.
That's incredibly demanding. What does that look like day to day?
It means putting her first. Her needs, her well-being, her spiritual growth. Sacrificing your own comfort or preferences for her good. It's about actively cherishing her, nurturing her, helping her flourish. Just like Christ does for the church. It's selfless.
And Paul connects this back to one flesh and calls it a profound mystery.
Right. Ephesians 5.31-33. He says this one flesh union, this whole dynamic, it pictures something bigger, Christ and the church.
So our marriages are meant to be like living parables.
In a way, yes. A visible demonstration of the gospel. The husband's sacrificial love mirrors Christ. The wife's respectful response mirrors the church. It's why he emphasizes reciprocal needs. Love from the husband, respect for the wife. It paints that divine picture.
Paul also gets practical about intimacy, doesn't he, in 1 Corinthians?
1 Corinthians 7. He's very clear. Sexual intimacy is exclusive to marriage. It's a mutual duty. Both spouses have authority, shared authority over each other's bodies.
Mutual duty, shared authority. That sounds very equal.
It is. And he stresses regular intimacy. Why? To protect against temptation. He says any temporary abstinence should only be by mutual consent for a specific spiritual purpose, like prayer, and only for a short time.
And he circles back to permanence there, too.
Absolutely. Verses 10-11 reiterates the command, no separation, no divorce. If separation happens, the goal is reconciliation. It just reinforces that God's design is lifelong.
Okay, one more passage, 1 Peter 3. This talks about honor in marriage.
Yes. Peter addresses wives first, particularly those with unbelieving husbands. He suggests their godly behavior, their purity and reverence, can actually win over their husbands without a word.
Like a silent witness.
Exactly, living out their faith attractively. Then he turns to husbands.
And the instruction there is?
Be considerate. Treat wives with respect as the weaker partner, which most scholars see as referring to physical vulnerability in that society, not lesser value, and acknowledge them as co-heirs with you of the gracious gift of life.
Co-heirs. That's huge. Equal standing before God.
Absolutely. And Peter adds a kicker. How a husband treats his wife directly impacts his prayers.
Wow. So mistreating your wife can actually hinder your connection with God.
That's what Peter says. It's not just about being nice, it's a spiritual reality.
Okay, so we've seen the design, the teachings. Let's talk about the purposes. Why did God design marriage this way? What's it for?
Great question. First and foremost, companionship. Remember Genesis 2.18, not good to be alone. Marriage provides that unique, intimate companion. Mutual support, emotional connection, someone to share the whole journey with.
So practically that means being best friends.
Yeah.
Quality time.
Yes. Intentionally cultivating that friendship, sharing your heart, growing together, not just coexisting.
Okay. Purpose number 2.
Procreation. Genesis 1.28. Be fruitful and multiply. Children are called a blessing, a heritage from the Lord. Marriage is the God-designed context for bringing children into the world and raising them in faith.
So welcoming children, raising a godly legacy.
Exactly. Investing in the next generation.
Third purpose, this one's maybe less obvious.
Sanctification. Becoming holy. Ephesians 5 talks about Christ cleansing the church. Marriage is one of God's primary tools for making us more like Christ.
How does that work? It seems counterintuitive sometimes.
Well, think about it. Living closely with another person, it exposes all your flaws, your selfishness, impatience, pride.
Okay, yeah, definitely does that.
Right, and that friction, that challenge, it's God's sandpaper. It's meant to rub off those rough edges, to teach us selflessness, forgiveness, unconditional love in a very real daily way, like iron sharpens iron.
So marriage is basically spiritual boot camp.
Ha! You could say that. A very intense one. Okay, fourth purpose. Illustration.
We touched on this, Ephesians 5.32, the mystery picturing Christ and the church.
Yes. Our marriages are meant to be a living display of the gospel, showing the world Christ's sacrificial love and the church's response.
So we have a responsibility to live out that picture well.
Precisely. Honor the picture, love sacrificially, respond respectfully, pursue unity. We're representing something sacred.
And the fifth purpose?
Protection. 1 Corinthians 7 points to marriage as a safe haven for sexual expression. It offers moral protection against temptation and also emotional and spiritual security.
So regular intimacy, guarding your heart, staying connected, protects the marriage.
Exactly. It builds hedges against outside influences and internal struggles. Communicate needs, stay close.
Okay, so those are the whys. Companionship, procreation, sanctification, illustration, protection, powerful stuff. Now, the big question, how do we do it? What are the keys to making it work, biblically speaking?
Right, the practical keys. Our analysis highlights several foundational areas. First, the spiritual foundation. This is huge.
Christ at the center, shared faith.
Absolutely. Matthew 6.33, seek first his kingdom. It means praying together, reading scripture together, being active in church together, making decisions based on biblical values. It's the anchor.
And linked to that is love is the foundation, that 1 Corinthians 13 kind of love.
Yes, the action-based love. Patient, kind, humble, respectful, selfless, forgiving, protecting, trusting, hopeful, persevering. It's a choice you make every day.
Practically, expressing love, forgiving quickly, not giving up.
Choosing love even when you don't feel like it. That's the biblical standard.
Okay, next, the communication foundation.
Crucial. Ephesians 4.15, speaking the truth in love. Honest, but kind, respectful, constructive. And for conflict, Matthew 18.
Go directly, privately first. Aim to restore, not win.
Exactly. Win your spouse, not the argument. Requires active listening, humility, and forgiveness, sharing your heart, asking questions, really hearing each other.
Then there's the commitment foundation.
Unconditional commitment. Matthew 19.6 again. What God has joined together, lifelong, exclusive. Through thick and thin, a covenant.
And you mentioned the power of just taking divorce off the table mentally.
It changes how you approach problems. You're committed to working through them, not looking for an exit. Keep your vows, stay faithful, seek help when needed.
And part of commitment is mutual respect and honor.
Yes. 1 Peter 3, Ephesians 5. Being considerate, treating each other with dignity, remembering your co-heirs, intentionally giving that love and respect that each person needs, appreciating differences.
What about the intimacy foundation?
This includes the physical, 1 Corinthians 7, Proverbs 5, mutual duty, shared authority, regular connection, but it's broader.
Friendship and fun.
Definitely. Proverbs 5 talks about finding joy in your spouse. Play together, laugh together, share interests, create memories. Don't let the fun die out.
Prioritize dates, maybe.
Absolutely. Be spontaneous. Keep that spark alive.
Okay, and finally, the growth foundation.
Continuous growth. 2 Peter 3.18, grow in grace and knowledge, spiritually, personally, relationally, adapting together through life's seasons. And Ephesians 2.1 there points to service and mission together.
Using your combined gifts.
Yeah. For kingdom impact, serving the church, helping others, leaving a legacy beyond just yourselves, finding purpose together, reading, learning, mentoring, setting goals.
Okay, so those are the foundations. But let's be real. Challenges happen. Does the Bible offer help for the common struggles, like communication problems?
Definitely. We mentioned poor listening, defensiveness, criticism. James 1.19 is the antidote. Quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry.
Practical steps. Listen first. Ask questions.
Speak kindly, stay calm, use I statements, I feel, instead of you always. Focus on the issue, not the person.
What about financial stress? Different values, debt, secrets?
Matthew 6.24, can't serve God and money. Luke 14.28, count the cost, plan, practically, pray together about money, create a budget together, be transparent, set goals, live within your means, give generously, work as a team.
Inline extended family issues. Boundaries, interference.
Genesis 2.24 is the key. Leave and cleave. Your spouse comes first, period.
So set clear boundaries, present a united front.
Absolutely. And create your own family traditions. Stay loyal to your spouse above all else in those situations.
Sexual and intimacy problems, different desires, past hurts, busyness.
Song of Songs celebrates intimacy. 1 Corinthians 7 stresses mutuality. The solution starts with open, honest, vulnerable communication. Prioritize time for intimacy. Create romance. Address hurts gently. Stay emotionally connected.
Makes sense. And the last big one, parenting disagreements.
Very common. Different styles, consistency issues. Ephesians 6.4 says, raise children in the Lord. Proverbs 22.6, start them on the right path.
So agree on the basics, present unity to the kids.
Yes. Discuss disagreements privately, seek wisdom, and critically protect the marriage itself from the parenting stress. Model love and respect for each other in front of the kids.
Okay, that's a lot of ground we've covered. As we wrap up, what are the absolute core takeaways?
I'd say marriage is God's sacred institution, a one-flesh covenant, lifelong commitment, Christ-centered, built on mutual submission.
And its purposes are key. Companionship, procreation, sanctification.
Illustration and protection. And remember the distinct roles. Sacrificial love from the husband, deep respect from the wife, both reflecting Christ.
It really paints marriage as God's masterpiece.
I think so. It's a picture of the gospel, a training ground for holiness, a source of deep joy, the foundation for family, a testimony to the world, a legacy.
And maybe the most important part.
Yeah.
There's hope, right? No matter where a marriage is right now.
Absolutely. God can heal. He can renew love, resolve conflict, rebuild trust. He does miracles in relationships. Building a godly marriage is definitely a journey.
But you can start anytime.
Right now. Exactly. Start today. Pray together. Recommit to God's design. Express love. Forgive. Make time for each other. Protect that connection.
So maybe a final thought to leave people with.
Well, think about Ecclesiastes 4.112. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. When Christ is that third strand woven into the fabric of your marriage,
He becomes incredibly strong, unbreakable.
Right, and the thing is, the world is watching. People are looking to see if Christian marriages are actually different. So the challenge is, will your marriage be a testimony, a clear picture of God's goodness and the power of His design?
The choice is ours.
Wow.
And the time to start is now.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us. We really hope you feel better informed, maybe a bit inspired. Until next time.